So we're in the kitchen today with the lovely Olivia. Thanks for joining me.
That's alright.
We've been trying to get cooking in the kitchen together since you were like way shorter, weren't you?
Yes.
Way younger. So what are we making today, Olivia? Can you tell me what we're making?
We're making pan breadsticks.
Yes, pan breadsticks. So a bit of a fun recipe because this recipe, I mean, you can just eat them on their own. They can be dipped into soup. You could take them in your lunch boxes as a bit of like a fancy bread. What else would we have breadsticks with?
I guess like you could have them at parties.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like a fun food. They taste really nice.
Yeah. And we don't even need to make them into sticks either. We can like, turn them into shapes and
animal things you like.
Yeah, anything you want. Let's do it. Okay. So we're gonna need some of these. What are these?
Chia seeds.
Chia seeds. We're gonna need about 1/4 cup of them, and they've got to get soaking. So we're gonna need to start out with them. So we won't use this scoop. We'll use that one, and we need a full 1/4 cup, please. So nice and level. Is that quite full, or maybe we go back again?
Yeah.
Maybe try one more time. Big scoop. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Should I put them into here?
Yes, please. Excellent. And then we're gonna need 1/2 cup of water into there as well. So if you were to use the same cup, how many of those would it take to make 1/2 cup?
2.
Yes. 2/4 is a half.
Yeah.
So you can bring that over to the sink if you want, and we'll get 2 nice and full cups of water into there, please. Oh, awesome. All right. Now we are going to be needing a food processor for this meal as well, because we're going to need to chop up all the carrots and the sweet potato and all the veggies. This is where it gets fun. Good work.
Okay. Where do you want me to put?
Let's put that here, and we're just going to need to give it a little stir every now and then, just to make sure it doesn't get too clumpy. So we'll just let that start thickening up. Have you seen this turn into gel before?
No.
No? Cool. This is kind of a magic trick then. Maybe you should be in charge of stirring it every now and then and watch how it's going to start to thicken up. So you see how liquidy it is now?
Yeah.
Just watch it over the next couple minutes and see how that's going to turn into a gel.
Will it turn into gel like really fast?
Pretty fast. Like you can kind of see it happen already. You can see how it's starting to thicken up already. So I think the chia seed itself can absorb 7 times its weight in water. Pretty cool, right? That means it's really good for your digestion.
It is like getting really thick.
Cool. So this is actually going to add a bit of moisture to our pan breadsticks so that they don't dry out as much.
Yeah, and the good thing is like all the stuff that you might not like and you put it into there, you can't even taste it.
Right? But these are actually, they don't really have much of a flavor at all. So you can even try one if you want. They don't taste like much. But the cool thing is they're really, really, really good for you. So not only the fiber, they're also full of protein, full of a whole bunch of other goodness.
Whoa, that's getting really thick.
Look at that, right? That's called chia gel. So you can turn that into chia pudding. You can just have it as a drink even. Sometimes you just mix a little bit of that into a drink and it kind of like suspends in the drink.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. Okay, so while that thickens up, we need to get some veggies ready. So we don't just set this aside. Okay. That was pretty much right before your eyes though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Okay, now how good are you with peeling? Are you comfortable with peeling away from yourself so it's safe?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, do you want to do those ones? So we'll do, probably, I don't know if we'll need the whole thing, but we'll peel the whole thing anyways, and if not, we can use it in another recipe. I'm going to give these guys a little rinse. And then we need to measure out 650 grams of veggies. Now we can use a combination of these kinds of veggies.
Yeah.
Or we could have just used maybe just sweet potato or just carrot. But I find it does make a better dish if we use a combination of them. So we're going to mix it up.
Yeah, more flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. More flavor. Not only that, it's a good opportunity if you've got these things hanging around in the fridge and they might be going to waste otherwise.
Yeah.
At least we can use them all up. So do you do a fair bit of cooking at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's your favorite thing to cook?
Probably like, sometimes I might cook like spaghetti because it's like my favorite dinner.
Yes.
And, sometimes I make lemon meringue pie for a treat.
Wow, that's pretty special.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you know how to use this machine, hey?
Yes.
Okay, so if you haven't got a machine like this, that's okay. We just need something to weigh the veggies. So you're gonna need a set of scales of some kind, just so we can get approximately 650 grams of veggies. So I've turned the scales on this machine with that little button there. Okay, and we wanna make sure that we get 650 grams of veggies.
Yeah.
All right, good job on that one. Now, I don't know how much we're gonna need, so let's finish peeling the other side.
Yeah,
so
okay.
if you flip it over, maybe continue peeling the rest of that one. We'll take a big chunk of that out. Maybe, and it works if you kind of maybe go a bit faster.
Yeah, okay.
Careful, that's a sharp blade there. So if you kind of dig into it, yeah, there you go.
It is a bit slippery.
It is, yeah, and the sweet potatoes are usually the toughest one to peel. If that bit's up, maybe I'll do that bit with the knife,
Yeah,
because that's quite tough, isn't it? I can tell you've done this before, though. You're very good at this. Okay, so let's try and just quickly grab those bits off.
Well.
Use those muscles. I know you've got them with all your wonderful sport you play. So tell us about the tennis you've been playing recently.
Well, I came second in the competition. It just finished.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Must feel good.
Yeah, it's really fun to like just be able to play a sport because you don't have to just sit on the couch and watch TV. Like,
yeah, to get active and hang out. How much have we got on the scales there? Can you read that?
175.
Okay, roughly.
180.
So if you want to add a few more chunks to this, we need to get that up to 650 grams.
600.
And I'm going to get some carrot ready while you do that. Now the reason why we're doing this by weight and not by volume is because it can make a big difference, especially if you're going to choose different vegetables, okay, to the recipe. So we could measure the volume and you would then know for next time if you use the same vegetables, but different vegetables weigh different amounts based on their volume, right? So how much more? Oh, we might be pretty close. How's that going to be? See how that looks.
650.
Okay, and because we only have the 3 little bits of carrot left, let's just put them in too. That'll be fine. Okay, we're close. We don't need to be exact. That one's pretty close. Okay, now let's add about 1/4 cup of olive oil to that one, and we're gonna need to then blend that down. Oh, good job. There we go. I couldn't remember where that went to. Okay, so 1/4 cup. Maybe if you hold it over, I will pour that in. Good stuff. Okay, straight in there. And then 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Okay. You want to pour and hold that one? I'll let you do that one. Maybe if you do it over. Yeah, good idea. Good focusing.
Whoops.
That's all right. You can just do a little bit less on the next one if that happens.
Okay.
That looks good. And if ever you're not feeling confident about pouring something over the same dish that you're going to be making in case you accidentally spill too much, you can definitely pour over another vessel, and then at least if you accidentally spill too much, then you don't have to put it all in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Little trick, little technique. Okay, let's blitz that up as smooth as we possibly can get it. And this is actually going to form the bulk of our breadsticks, believe it or not. Okay, so we have to turn the scales off. Yep.
Back.
Good idea. And turn that, let's just go maybe up to speed 7.
Just wait for it to finish.
Yeah. Do a little dance in the kitchen. How's that sounding?
You can't really see, it's already all gone on.
Hit the button. All right, let's check it out. Let's see what we've got. Let's let those wings open up. Okay. There we go. Look at that. So we've got a nice mixture. Do you think that's going to be smooth? Ooh, look at it. How did it do that?
What?
It avoided a whole piece of sweet potato. That's amazing. How did that escape the blades?
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay. So we're gonna have to blend that one more time. We'll scrape down the edges. Might need to grab all those good bits too.
Yeah.
Put that back in the mix. That was really interesting. I can't believe it escaped the blades.
You can it smells so good.
Yeah, all that goodness in there. Okay, lid back on. You know what you're doing. Up to speed 7. Do you have to? Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's a bit better.
Got all the bits out? Okay. So do you want to just scrape the rest of that back into the back into the machine? Good job. And then we need to put the dry ingredients in next. So we're going to need either some sorghum flour or some rice flour. I've got some here. It's got some rice flour. We'll need about 2 cups of this guy. Now we could also go by weight, because we've got the scales straight on this machine, and I think that's usually the more accurate way, just because sometimes, actually we could do an experiment. Do you want to do a bit of a science experiment?
Sure.
Okay, let's see if we can set this up.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna need a spoon. Can you go grab me a spoon, please? Okay, we've got a spoon. Now, we're going to fill this cup with flour. Now this one doesn't quite fit in the jar, so if I do this and you maybe scoop some into there. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually pack it down. Now, we're going to show you the difference between volume and weight. Okay, so maybe before we pack it down, let's do it this way. So maybe we won't pack it, we'll just level it off. Okay, so we need a little bit more in there still.
Yeah.
So let's just take one more scoop, please. We'll put that on top. Good work. That's all right. And we'll see if we can just, so at this point, this was just lightly put into the cup, right? So you just scooped it in. We didn't tap it down. We didn't get in there and move it around and pack it down. It was just lightly scooped into the cup.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's get a weight on that. And this machine is not super precise. I think it's only precise to maybe about 5 grams. But let's see what we get for a weight on that one. Okay, so that's saying 185 grams of flour. Okay, so we just measured 1 cup in volume. So volume means we filled the cup, right? It took up that much space. But the weight of that volume is 185 grams. Now, here's the difference. If you had, instead of nicely scooping it in there, if instead you'd kind of packed in the flour.
Whoa, that makes a big difference.
Right? So look how much difference in space that can take up. So now if we put in a whole cup, but we'd packed it in, okay, and we even packed in that amount, how much do you think it's going to weigh now?
Probably like 200.
Okay. So that's still, so look, if we'd have done it that way, that's still 1 cup in volume, right? That's still 1 full cup. We're even going to make it a perfect 1 full cup, but the weight,
it's 235,
right? Compared to 185, was it before?
Yeah.
So that's an extra 15, that's an extra 50 grams of flour. So can you see how that would make a big difference in a recipe?
Yeah.
Right? The difference, especially when you're working with flours, very important. If the recipe is giving you something in the weight, very better to use the weight, right?
Yeah.
Because the weight's going to be more accurate than the volume, which we saw can change big time. Okay?
So I usually just put it in a cup, but I haven't tried weighing it before, and like doing that experiment made me think that, oh, maybe I should weigh it next time to make sure it tastes better.
Exactly. And so if we put that much flour into this recipe, it's probably still going to like look like it'll work out, but the bread will probably taste a bit dry because we had so much extra flour, right? Okay, so usually if a recipe calls for volume and you only have a volume measure, it's best if you scoop the flour in lightly like we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just use the scales in this case, and we want to have 300 grams of flour. So do you want to tear those scales?
Okay.
And I'll get you to scoop in. Might be easier if you scoop with a scoop.
Yeah, probably.
Now that our experiment is over. Okay. So we're going to need at least 4 of those cups to get up to our 300, just so you have a reference point. Oh, our scales are doing something funny on us here. Okay, so in that event, here we go. Here's learning the third way to do things. Now, our scales have gone a little bit strange on us because I think I forgot to zero it after I took the lid off. So let me just see how much the lid weighs. Hang on. Yeah, let me see how much the lid weighs. So that was 120. So we brought that up to 130. So now we got to do some math. Geez, we had to do science. Now we have to do math. So 120 plus 135 is 255.
Yeah.
255. Okay. So now we've got to think about this. So 255 is how much our lid weighs. So when I took that off, 255 minus, so 125 minus 255. This is getting really fun, isn't it? So 375 we were down to. Is that right? How much have we put in? Okay, well let's just approximate it. So you had 2 cups, you had roughly a cup in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're winging it. Now we're gonna have fun with this one. So let's do that one more cup, and we'll do one more like that, and that should be our rough amount.
Yeah.
And that brought us up to 25. So that'd be about right, so we could even do another 25 grams. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because if the lid weighs 250 and we needed 300, and we need that to say 50, don't we? There we go. We'll be close enough with that. It's okay for a little bit under. See? Science, math, it's all related, isn't it? We can have fun in the kitchen. Okay, there's our flour. Now we're gonna need a little bit of baking soda and baking powder.
Okay, how much of that do we need?
Okay, so baking soda, each of them we're gonna need actually a teaspoon of each. Do you wanna find the teaspoon measure?
Okay.
Good job. Okay, and we wanna make sure this is a nice level teaspoon as well. So what are you gonna use to make sure that's level?
No.
Back of the knife. Good work. Awesome. Okay. So just try and sprinkle that evenly on top if you can. And by now we probably can preheat the oven too. So I'm going to get that started.
Okay.
Let's see how we go here.
Okay. Teaspoon of this?
Yes, please. Good. And we'll do a teaspoon of salt as well.
Okay.
And don't forget to use the back of the knife for the leveling out because it's normally flatter than the sharp edge. Beautiful. Good work. Okay, and we also need our tapioca flour.
So much flour.
But compared to regular bread, we're actually filling a lot of it with vegetable content, aren't we? Right?
You have to even it out.
Okay, so tapioca flour, we need about 100 grams. So let's get this right this time. Do you want to hit the scales button, please? For the tare, yeah, in this case, the tare. Okay, and now you might need to use your scooper, or maybe that one, just for 100 grams.
Whoops.
It's also a good way to guess too. You can start getting really good at guessing how much stuff weighs. Okay, so that was 30. Good job. Another little bit more. You might need to give that one a little tap tap too because it's got stuff on the edges. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
100 grams?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where the fun bit is about to begin. However, the secret to this recipe is that we want to keep it nice and light and fluffy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the science or the chemical reaction that's going to happen in order to do that is all the, remember the apple cider vinegar we added in the liquid ingredients? And then we had the baking soda that we just added.
Yeah.
Okay, when these two go together, have you ever done that experiment?
No.
Do you want to do another one?
Yes.
Okay, watch. We're going to have to see this one
I'm
close
just gonna
up.
see how thick this is. Oh my gosh, that's sort of like one of those.
Look at that. Look how thick that is. It's a cool gel. We can't forget to add that too. We almost did, didn't we?
It's like a really thick smoothie.
Okay, so we could have mixed that one in with the veggies first, but this is okay. That should still work for us. Better if it went in then. Okay. So have you heard about the volcano experiment? Volcano science project? Okay. So that's how they do it, is with these two ingredients that we're about to show you. So I don't know how big of an explosion we're gonna have.
Doesn't like baking soda make it like rise?
Yes. So we're gonna create bubbles. So this is what happens when we have baking soda. Are you gonna be able to see this? Maybe we should put it in here. Okay, so we got baking soda. Now, if you take this and pour it on top, what do you think is gonna happen?
It's gonna fizz up.
Dun da da! Whoa! Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, it's like a tinier version of like that elephant toothpaste.
Oh!
There's like this thing, and you put two things together, and it like goes everywhere. It's like this like really big fluffy thing.
Oh, yikes! It sounds a bit hectic if it was a toothpaste.
Yeah.
So that reaction is going to happen, but we want it to happen in the bread, so that the bread can start to get a little bit of lift, right? Okay, and then by the time those react, then the baking soda no longer tastes like soap, and the vinegar no longer tastes like vinegar. They neutralize each other out. Pretty cool, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, so last before we blend that up is we want to make sure that our other flavor bits are ready to stir in, because they're going to go in right at the end, but we don't want to lose too many of our bubbles. Okay. So, do you feel comfortable chopping up some of these herbs? Do you know what we have here?
Parsley?
Yes, and?
Can't remember.
Chives.
Chives.
That's a less common one. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so can you cut them as thin as absolutely possible, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that?
Yeah, or even thinner if you can.
Okay.
Good work. Okay, and if you don't feel comfortable, just let me know and I can help out too. So we're gonna put in a couple chives, a little bit of parsley, and definitely some sun-dried tomatoes, because they're one of my favorite flavors in this bread. But these are optional. You don't have to add in these extra bits. You can definitely just have the plain pan bread as it is. And the nice thing about the pan bread too is even though we've put veggies in it, did you know that we can actually make it savory or sweet?
No.
Right? So because we're not putting any strong flavors in, or at least before we added the chives, right? The chives might be a pretty savory flavor, and so is the sun-dried tomatoes. But if we didn't add these bits, then you could still put sweet things on it. Like you could put nut butter and coconut yogurt and jam, things like that on the bread too.
Yeah.
So it's very versatile.
If you had like jam, it'd be like a mini piece of toast in the morning.
And it can be for breakfast, it can be for lunch. Okay, so that looks good, but we're gonna continue chopping that a little bit more as we go. Make it nice and fine. Okay. Good work. You've got good knife skills. Okay, and then that's okay too if we see these nice little bits of green in our bread. Okay, so I think we're nearly ready.
And most of the stuff in the bread that you might not like, you probably won't even see, you won't taste it.
Exactly, it just all comes together and makes a nice dish, right? And that's a bit of a trick whenever you're eating something that maybe you don't love on its own, right? Isn't the trick that you can mix it up with other things that you do like? Yeah.
Like Mum, I don't really love Brussels sprouts on their own, but Mum makes this really delicious Brussels sprout pasta.
Oh.
And it's my favourite type of pasta.
Yum. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. Can you please turn that up to maybe 5? We'll let it do a quick mix. Should be good. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll probably still have to do a bit of a mix by hand because it is quite a thick batter. Okay, so we're nowhere near mixed yet. So we want to get all the way down the bottom and stir that around.
filled.
But I just didn't want to. I didn't want to crank it up too high because sometimes it can really whip all the bubbles out of it. So
okay.
Right? Mixing by hand is usually a bit better. Same with muffins. If ever you're making muffins, you don't want to over mix muffins.
Yeah, okay.
They go a bit flat. Okay. And can we scoop these bits in here? Do you want to scoop those in with the back of the knife?
Okay. Just put a little bit in first so it doesn't kick off the bench. Wow, that looks so yum.
Lots of color in there, isn't there?
You could even make it like a mini pizza.
Yeah, it actually kind of ends up having the flavors of that. Plus you can also add in pizza flavors if you want.
Yeah.
So you can make pizza breadsticks. So do you know what the herbs and spices are that we might add if we wanted it to be more pizza flavored?
You could, like, would cheese work? Because I know some people like cheese on their pizza.
You could, or that could be a topping that you put on top.
Yeah, you could like melt it and put it on top.
Yeah.
Some people have basil on their pizza.
Basil or oregano is another common one for pizza flavor.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now here comes the fun bit. Should we give our hands another rinse? Because we're going to work with this with our hands. And then you've got your nice tea towel to dry them off with. Okay. So now we get to shape them into whatever shapes we want. So do you want to make a little pan breadstick with that?
Yeah.
Put out your hands. Now we get to have the fun bit.
Okay.
So now you can just kind of shape it. So you can make a long skinny roll, or you could make a shape, different shape with it with a cutter. We could even put it flat and do a cutter with it, or you could even make like a little bun shape. If you wanted to make a pan bread bun.
Yeah.
Can you believe how many veggies we packed in there though? And it's gonna end up like bread.
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm going to make mine a love heart.
Good idea. So it doesn't have to be breadsticks, even though we called the recipe breadsticks. You can do any shape you want, right?
Yeah.
This is the best bit about being able to cook for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're the boss. If you're cooking it, you're head chef.
There's kind of a love heart.
That's awesome. Super easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can even just have this on its own. Like you could just have it as a piece of bread. You don't even have to put anything on it necessarily.
Yeah.
But it goes really well in the toaster if our shapes, if they'll fit though. We gotta make sure our shapes will fit in the toaster. So that's gonna be like a little pan bread bun, I guess.
Could you have these, like if you had hamburger, you could have them as hamburger buns.
And how better off would you feel afterwards knowing that you had such good nutrition in your hamburger bun?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, what shape's next for you?
I don't know.
It's alright.
I think I might do... Oh, I might try and make a flower.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Flour bread. Huh?
Yeah, flour bread.
Flour bread with the different spelling, like a flour, not the flour we added.
Yeah.
Geez, we're learning science, math, English class. What else can we squeeze into there? What's left?
I don't know.
We could talk about geography.
Yeah, we did talk about some sport.
We did, you're right. We got sport in there too. Jeez. It's been quite a productive little session together in the kitchen, eh? Okay, I think we need another tray, don't we?
Yes.
Next. Okay, another thing we can do, maybe not on this tray because it's got a bit of holes in it.
Yes.
Why don't we find one? Let me just wash our fingers, because we could just do a flat cake of it.
Yeah.
And then we could cut it up after it's cooked too.
Yeah.
Right? So why don't I just grab one of these will fit in there. That one I don't think is going to fit in there. Do you have any baking paper?
Yes.
Okay, let me know where that was. If you've got dirty hands, I can
Wait,
get
yes, I don't know where it is. Yeah, I got it.
So because we just have these little holes in this tray, we're going to need to put some baking paper down in case it smears through the holes. Perfect. Awesome, thank you. Okay, just a little piece of that guy. And then I'll get you to spread that nice and flat. And then that way, once it's baked, then we can cut shapes out of it too. And have you ever seen those cookie cutter shapes that are shaped like a piece of bread?
No.
So then if you cut it as a piece of bread, then you can just have it like an actually bread-shaped pan bread.
Cool.
Pretty fun, hey?
And so, how does the pan bread work? Like, with it on the pan?
Well, in this case, it's called pan bread. You want to spread that flat? Oh yeah, use your fingers. That might be easier. Whatever's easier. In this case, it's a pan bread because we're spreading the batter flat, as opposed to like a normal bread, which would be cooked in a loaf pan, right?
Yeah.
So this case, because there's so much fiber and moisture in the vegetables that we used, it might not necessarily cook all the way through if we did it as a big loaf.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to use it as a nice pan bread or like a focaccia. Have you heard of focaccia bread? It's more of like a flatter bread. It's kind of fun to work with too, isn't it? It's cool texture.
Satisfying
so we probably want
to press.
that. Yeah, probably want that to be a little bit thinner, just because it's going to puff up a little bit when it cooks.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's like slime, but food.
And very much more edible.
Yes.
Not to mention good for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, how's that looking? Is that even?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready to bake. So we'll put these in the oven. We need to check on them every now and then because every oven's going to be different depending on the moisture levels in the oven. But usually we'll need about 30 minutes or so in the oven for these. But again, we're definitely going to check on them regularly. Cool?
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
You
I'm just going to wash my hands.
Sounds
I got
good.
them a little bit dirty.
Okay, let's get them in the oven. And then what do you say we come back in about 25 minutes and check on them together?
Yeah.
Cool, sounds good. In the meantime, we can clean up our mess so we can eat pan bread. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Can you smell them?
Yes.
It smells pretty good. It's been about 25 minutes. I think it's time to check on our pan bread. Oh, I'm excited. Look how much they've risen. Look out. Steam coming out. Look at that. Cool.
Oh my gosh, they look,
They look so good, don't they? You've done exceptionally well. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, just turn it off there.
Oh yeah, okay.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so look, we've got your love heart, we've got some sticks, some more bun shapes, and I think those are probably even thin enough still they can maybe fit in the toaster if you had a wide toaster.
Yeah.
But this one will definitely work, won't it?
Yes.
Okay, so we got some star shapes here. What size do you want to cut first?
Probably, I'll try the blue one.
Try the blue one? Okay, and I'll do some littler ones. Little snack stars. You might have to push pretty hard.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't like the little ones maybe. It's maybe a bit too warm still. Kind of worked.
Yeah, I guess.
Just kind of broke the surface a little bit,
Whoa.
didn't it? Yeah, careful, that's very hot. Very hot. But if we push maybe really quickly, oh, maybe we need to let it cool a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah.
They look nice though once they're formed. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we got little stars, big stars. Is it going to be cool enough for us to have a taste?
Yeah.
Of a little corner? What do you think? Are you excited?
Yeah, they are.
Have you ever made bread before?
No.
There you go. What do you think? warm still? The flavor's pretty good, isn't it? Kind of neutral, considering how many veggies we put in there. It doesn't actually taste like veggies, does it?
No. But the tomato tastes really good.
Nice with the tomato paste.
Yeah.
Sauce. Okay. Well, there we have it. So, do you want to present your dish and say, here we have pan breadsticks.
Here we have pan breadsticks.
Yay! You did so well, Olivia. Thank you so much for cooking with me in the kitchen.
That's alright.
I'm excited to see all the different ways you're going to be able to play with this, and we can put it with different sandwich ingredients. We can have it in lunch boxes. We can dip it with our soup. There's infinite possibilities, isn't there?
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Can we cook again in the kitchen sometime
Yes.
together? Thanks, Olivia. We'll see you next time. Let's try some. We're going to make some more big shapes, you think?
Yeah.
I wonder if it would work better if we maybe cut it with a knife around the edges.